Well, the other one I just want to touch on was the other clip I put up about whether or not Zod was killed, and all three of the villains, which we did talk about in the episode, but we didn't go into great detail about it.
And I was surprised at how many people always assumed that Superman had fully wasted those.
And it really
So
seems to be
many
50-50.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people who agree with you, a lot of people who agree with me that, that's always what I thought.
Move along. Thought you had Superman.
But there are people who are kind of not being dicks about it, but they're arguing with us, saying it's not, that scene isn't canon, it shouldn't count. And the thing is, I agree, that scene should not be canon. There's a lot of problems with that scene. It goes way beyond whether or not they survived, and a lot of people were pointing them out.
Oh, what you mean the scene where they're hauled off at
the
the
Arctic
end?
Police Force, whatever it is.
I don't count that one. Again, no. I don't count that as canon.
But my point was that scene, as it is in the script too, because that pretty much is how the script was written, as Mankiewicz wrote it. That to me just shows that they didn't film a death scene. That was not a death scene they filmed. There was going to be a follow-up, but they didn't actually get to finish filming it. Yeah. So that's all Lester had. And obviously that scene doesn't make sense anyway. I mean, the whole idea, as we talked about in that episode, the whole idea of an Arctic police force having access to the fortress is really immersion breaking and silly. You could make arguments for it that maybe Superman has a special agreement with the army in the area. That's fine. But it's not that the problems don't end there. There's also the thing of the villains are walking out. They don't have cuffs on or anything. They seem pretty relaxed, and they're just sauntering. Zod should be doubled over in pain still because his hand is crushed. You know, and also somebody very smartly pointed out that Luthor himself is standing out there in just a regular business suit and presumably sub-zero temperatures.
Yes.
Not even shivering a little bit. But he should have at least been going, hey, what do you think, Superman? Hey, we can make a deal. But, so there's a lot of different problems with that scene. It should not be canon. Let's just make that clear. But my point, again, was their deaths were not scripted. They weren't filmed. But again, if you thought that they died, that's fine. There's really no canon reason to take it either way.
If you watch Superman 2, the theatrical cut, and have for years believed that Superman murdered 3 people and you're okay with it. I mean, if you walked out of it going like, oh, Superman 2 is great. Okay. I just always assumed, because we don't know the layout of the fortress other than the parts we've seen. They go down those chutes. What I'm surprised is that people think that in their minds it opened up to some sort of like death layer. And I'm like, no, I think they probably just got trapped in a thing, maybe cells. My brain, and that just says a lot about the era of Superman I grew up with, is, and I know that Superman has killed in the comics. He has. It's not something that he seeks. But the idea that my brain would not have even conceived that they were dead. It's like he defeated them, but I didn't see deaths. It's like they slide down a chute. And that doesn't necessarily mean to me, well, now they're literally just corpses.
Right. Because as many people did point out in the comments too, it's like they do it. The cue for them was like, it's done so gleefully. It's like, yay, we won. Now they're dead. Just didn't read it that way because Superman was not a homicidal person.
No, that's it. So my brain didn't go there. I think a lot of what we've talked about, of course, across all the films that we've covered of the Christopher Reeve era, is that we interpret them our own ways, and some things you go, oh, wow, I didn't even think that was a question. One thing that opening it up to the big community, which is, the P-Saps, the people that are actually chiming in, I love it because I'm seeing that there's so many interpretations. Yeah. And I always just think, is it people aren't on the same page with us? But cool. I mean, that's the thing is, and I think, Chad, we said this last time, the fact that it opens up conversations, we're cool. We're very happy about that.
Absolutely. That's the whole point.
If you guys disagree with us, fine. Absolutely. I do prefer that you state a point rather than just going wrong. And like, well, okay. But at the same time, we're all, I think we're all fans of the character, and that's why we care.
Exactly.